Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It's Thursday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. Some afternoon Major League Baseball action already underway. We'll also hit each and every game to get you guys that knowledge you need to cash in on some of those tickets. Last night for me, we ate good at McDonald's last night. Thank you, Boston Red Sox. Thank you, Tampa Bay Rays. We're going to get after today, see if we can find some winners. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz, along with Kyle Purviance. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team, and it's time to bring that heat. Jason, how are we doing today on a Thursday?
Yeah, so I woke up early this morning. I had a KBO bet going. And KT Wiz, if anybody knows anything about the KBO, and had them over 5.5 on the team total. I'm looking in the bottom of the 8th inning. They have 3 runs. And obviously, they probably don't get the 9th inning if they score 1 or whatever the case might be there because they are the home team. Well, the cleanup hitter hit a 3 RBI double, and we get 6 runs, and we cash that ticket. So I'm feeling lucky today. I'm feeling good today. Great way to wake up and, start kicking ass on the day. So that was I had to share that little story there. I was really pumped about that. But now I went to the MLB, try to get a winner. Had 2 of my leans hit, and of course the official play did not with the Athletics. And Kyle and I talking about this game just before going on the show. Yeah, they're killing it in the first inning. So, of course, the A's want to do that. And the White Sox did that the last game before yesterday. So just a lot of chaos going on. But let's get back today with the winner.
Chaos, Kyle. Before we get into it, I think everybody wants to know, how did you do in your golf match yesterday going head-to-head out there? Did we win money? Did we lose?
We sure did. We didn't just win. We went out there and absolutely dominated. And a big shout-out to my friends at Harbor Isle Country Club in Southern Oregon for sponsoring the match, hosting the match for free. They did some filming, so a little plug for my boys at Harbor Links Golf Club there in Southern Oregon. Make sure you check out and visit it. But we kicked their ass. We absolutely dominated. That was one of the better things because, of course, the Oakland A's can't get out of their way. I'm so sick and tired of the Oakland A's, even though they're kicking ass right now. The Astros came through. The Rockies came through. Had some NBA prop bets come through. So, overall, anytime I win at golf, it's a good day. So, I'm in a good mood today. Cheers to everyone in the chat box. I love to see this chat box just going off before we even say a word. It's a tribute to these 2 beautiful gentlemen next to me as well and to all of you guys. So, excited to be here. Looking forward to a Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of A's hate on here. A's are all aces for me, man. They paid a nice little dinner bill for me 2 nights ago. Sat back and watched it last night. And look at the A's today, up 3-0. We'll get to that game in just a few moments, but we got another marker hit here. 86,800 people have hit the subscribe button here for sportsbookreview.com right here on our YouTube channel. When we go live on anything we do, NBA action, UFC fights, golf, everything covered, soccer. We got it right here on the networks. And also keep in mind, NFL shows, which I do believe we will be doing one once again on Football Friday right here tomorrow, both myself and Kyle. So a lot of really good things going on. Also keep in mind, there's a lot of articles out here. If you want to be a better baseball gambler, click below, SBRpicks.com/MLB. A lot of good write-ups, a lot of good videos designed to help you guys out. If you have any questions or if you look at one game, sometimes these little tidbits can put you on, as we like to say, the right side. But we're going to get after it today on the Major League Baseball card. But before we do that, if you look at the top of the chat box there, a little bit highlighted in yellow, it says SBR Picks. Right there is the link to get into the baseball tournament. $20,000 in Bitcoin up for grabs this summer, and it's all completely free right here at sportsbookreview.com. Hit that link, get some details. Get yourselves in there, and we can get off it here. So let's get after it. Have some fun today on the show. 2 games already in play, and as I'm looking up right now, finally a run here scored by the Kansas City Royals, who got let down in epic fashion after busting up Aroldis Chapman in the 9th inning, blowing it in the bottom of the 9th inning and causing a loss. Would have been a nice two-day sweep here so far for the Royals, but not getting it done. These first 2 games that we have, Jason, I'll start with you first. Any wagers on these games early? Are we cheering anything on here? What do we got?
I've got no wagers, but my leans look pretty good right now. I like the Yankees over 4.5 on the team total. But when I was looking at it, the juice was high at -150. And, even if the Yankees look like they're going to be able to hit, get 5 runs or 6 runs in a game, it's hard to take that, as I'm sure Donnie and Kyle will tell you, and that's why they usually hit them live, because the Yankees don't really score early in games. Well, today they did. Expected that, but wasn't putting my money on it, so there's that. And again, I did like the Athletics in the first 5 innings. I thought maybe minus 1.5 in the full game for the A's in this one. Didn't expect them to lose 2 straight to the Rangers, and thought Bassett would be able to hold it down. So I like the Athletics in this one. I like the Yankees in the other one, and both are obviously looking really good right now.
Here's an interesting one, too, Kyle, because I was breaking down this game earlier this morning between the Yankees and the Royals. And the one thing that I wish the Royals had was a lot more left-handed bats that could be in the lineup, because that's the way you get after Tyone. Obviously, you're stacking right-handed bats primarily. That's why you're down 4-1 at this point. We'll see if it moves forward. But looking at some of the live numbers here, the total for the game sitting at 9.5. Same thing with the Oakland Athletics and the Texas Rangers. That one also sitting at 9.5. Any thoughts on these first 2 games here that are live on the card today?
I think that 9.5 seems a bit high for me. I mean, we all know the Yankees have a terrific bullpen. The Royals, middle of the pack here, not super great, but I'm not for me, it just doesn't feel like this is a game that's going to get another, 5 runs to cover that. So maybe I would go with the under there. I didn't touch a damn thing with Oakland and Texas, because right now the Oakland A's are on my shit list and I just want nothing to do with them. I can't seem to figure them out. When I think they'll be okay, they do great. When I love them, they hit terrible. Look, if you can't score runs off Fulton Yavich, I don't know what the hell you're doing in Major League Baseball, because that guy is an absolute can. So I was a little surprised by what happened yesterday when I was looking like, God, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0s across the board. Something seemed a little broken there. Good for them today. They get off the schneid and get some runs in the first inning, but I didn't touch anything Oakland, Texas. But I might lean a little bit under here on this. I don't expect Taillon to keep going. The longer he goes, the lower those runs are going to be for Kansas City, because that bullpen's really good. So maybe the under 9.5 makes sense to me in that first one. That's about all I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll keep you posted on as it moves forward. But as we said again, Oakland 3-0. The Yankees up 4-1 in that game. We'll see how they play out here. Also, Eric Cheng says, does Trout have any chance of coming back and winning MVP? He's 200-1. Well, I mean, he's going to come back, but there's a very low chance he's going to hit. But I can see if somebody says, let me take a 200-1. Ohtani gets hurt, another 9 guys get hurt, and he hits 40 home runs. Sure, there's a chance at that, but I wouldn't be putting my money down. But then again, if you put $5 down, you can certainly win a nice little big payday here. But I don't think Trout is going to be in that functioning as an MVP. Got 160 people already watching in the chat box a few minutes into the show. Thank you guys for doing that. Let's get after today and get to some of the live card action. Yeah. Or excuse me, get to some of the games after this live card action that we just talked about. 963, 964, Baltimore and Toronto. Kramer's on the mound versus the lefty K. Take a look at some of these numbers. FanDuel opened up here in New Jersey at 164. You know what we're sitting at right now? Minus 205. Pinnacle Offshore, minus 200. That is an expensive number to pay for Toronto. But when you're looking about going up against Baltimore, I was just looking at their last couple games. Get this. 4 out of the last 5 games. Listen to these numbers that they're giving up here, Jason. 10 hits, 14 hits, 13 hits, 8 hits, and last night, 17 hits. You're going to a baby ballpark here up in Buffalo tonight with a full-go Buffalo squad. Do I want to pay minus 200? No, I don't. Is it a little bit expensive at MGM at 5.5 as a team total, minus 125 for Toronto? A little bit. But is there any reason to believe that Baltimore, with their starting pitching and bullpen, can keep anybody, it seems like, under 6 runs, Jason?
Well, look, this game, Kramer pitched against the Blue Jays in his last start, and he allowed 2 home runs early in the game in the first inning, and then he shut down the Blue Jays 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. The Blue Jays, they figured it out later in the game against the bullpen, but Kramer actually shut them down after the first inning, allowing 2 home runs. So that's the one reason why I kind of stayed off this game. Just saw how Kramer pitched against them, had 6 strikeouts in that game, which are more than he usually gets in the first place. And obviously he went deeper. But then you also have Kay on the mound, a guy that really hasn't looked great in the MLB since coming up the last couple of seasons. Kay, he's walking 4.29 batters per 9 innings, also allowing 2.14 home runs per 9 innings. So he hasn't been great either. And we know that the Orioles, they've done solid against lefties in the past as well. So I think that this is an over game. But I mean, look at the line. It's like 11.5 or maybe 12 at some spots. So I think the over 6 in the first 5 is a solid look. but that's so many runs. You need 7 runs in the first 5 innings to cash between these two teams. That's so hard to bet. So I'm going to stay away from this game, but I do think this game goes over. I guess better ways of going about it are taking total base props or different home run props for some of these players, because like Donnie said, there should be a lot of hits in this game, and that's what you could probably bank on with some of the total bases props that you can get in the game.
No, you certainly can. And also keeping a little update on the AL MVP odds race. Vladimir Guerrero is a plus 100. Ohtani's a plus 110. Xander Bogaerts 25-1. Mike Trout actually showing 40-1 here on the MVP odds board. Just goes to show you nobody really separating themselves. But the interesting part is here, again, Vladimir Guerrero leading the MVP odds. I don't know. Did somebody lay down like $10 million on him to keep it that low? And I'm one of the biggest haters in the world. So when the people were talking about Shohei Ohtani for MVP before the season, I'm like, get out of here. I'm not betting on that guy. But he's plus 110 now and closing the gap. What more does he have to do? He dominated the Giants yesterday on the mound. It should be Shohei Ohtani like minus 800 to win the MVP in the AL. I can't believe this. Like, before you get to this game coming up, Kyle, I don't know. And I've been saying this for a week now. The fact that when Ohtani hit like a home run every single night and pitched well, he lost in the race for, odds on Vladimir Guerrero. I don't know who's manipulating this. It's like Bitcoin out here. It makes no sense.
Doesn't it feel like Vlad Guerrero needs to go out and pitch 7 shutout innings to even be close in this?
Yes,
like, I don't understand what the hell. And I'm glad you brought this up, because this is a question I've been getting. Like, the last 4 days, I've gotten like 10 of these questions. Like, hey, I'm looking at Mike Trout plus 30-1, 30-1. Plus 30, and I'm like, well, Mike Trout isn't going to win the MVP. You can't win the MVP when you're out for a month. It just doesn't work that way. So, no, don't waste your. Yes, it's a great name. He's a great player. It's fantastic. But he's not playing enough games. Like, he's not even close to the MVP on his own team. Absolutely not is he going to be MVP. Don't waste your money. I know the number looks juicy. I mean, it's Ohtani or bust. And Donnie's right. It should be. If you're getting a plus number with Ohtani, jump on it now. I'm probably going to when the show's over. I'm probably going to throw $100 on Ohtani for MVP, because if he just, maybe he misses 1 or 2 games, but he stays healthy, there is absolutely nobody else even remotely close in me. And I'm including Jacob deGrom, who is on a record-setting pace. We're talking about a guy who has had 1 or fewer runs allowed in 12 straight starts, is about to break Bob Gibson's record, for Christ's sake. And even he's not close. So what in the hell are people talking about? Trout or Guerrero? No. Until Vladimir Guerrero throws me 7 shutout innings, he can piss off in the MVP voting. He's not the MVP. He backed out like a little baby from the home run contest. It's Ohtani or bust. Easy. I mean, it's too easy. Seriously.
How about this Baltimore Orioles Toronto Blue Jays game here? Very hard to take the Orioles. I mean, their lineup actually looks pretty good today, to be honest with you, buddy.
That's what I'm just going to say right now.
Go ahead.
Say it right now. Listen.
After it.
Toronto has a better lineup, no doubt about it. And we love to bash on Kramer, and we love to fade Kramer, right? We love it. But he's actually the better pitcher when I profile the two. I think he's a little bit better than K here. And this Orioles lineup is actually fairly decent against righties. I think Baltimore is a live dog today. If you're looking for one of those long, we talked about this last Friday and the Rockies hit, and everyone said, oh, you're an idiot. That's not going to happen. Boom, they do it. The Orioles are live dogs today. The only way I'm betting this game is if I'm taking the underdog. It's a dog or pass for me. I'm telling you right now, that Orioles lineup is live. And Trey Mancini's been a little bit cold the last 4 days. He feels a little bit due. If you look at his 3-year OPS versus lefties, 995, a full 25 points better than he is against righties. Trey Mancini home run prop might be sneaky as well. I think Baltimore's live dogs today. Dog or pass for me. Give me the Orioles.
Yeah, and talk about the MVP market again, the AL, NL. If you parlayed the Jacob deGrom and Shohei Ohtani, it doesn't pay that much. It's plus 372 if they both win the award. But if you're asking right now, the easiest past way to victory in this one, to me it's Ohtani, because he's an everyday player and then pitches dominant baseball. I have a feel, because Jacob deGrom to me right now is the MVP in the NL, and I know a lot of writers don't want to give it to a pitcher. They have their own award. They have the Cy Young. That's their MVP. I fully understand it. But you know what's going to happen here, Jason? We all know. Pitchers don't go the entire season without giving up one bad game. He'll have one where he gives up 5 innings and 5 earned runs, and he'll go from plus 125 to like plus 650. Like he was supposed to not let up a run for the entire summer to be in the MVP equation, Jason.
Yeah, and then Tatis can go 0 for 10 or 0 for 20, have a little slump, and he wouldn't do his damn thing. But yeah, I mean, right now I actually have a DeGrom MVP slip. I got it at plus 500 a couple weeks ago. So sitting on that, I'll enjoy that. Whether he gets there or not, there's obviously good value there. So I got a ticket on DeGrom, and I'm going to root for him. Obviously, win the MVP and think that he deserves it. I'm obviously biased, but at the end of the day, the things that he's doing on the NL side, he really is the most valuable player in the NL. When he's on the mound, the Mets, they're winning. So, yeah, he's valuable for sure.
Like when I'm agreeing on Shohei Ohtani to win the American League MVP, I'm the ultimate hater. So it's bad when I see a number that doesn't make any sense and I actually start backing Shohei Ohtani. One of these shows, I'm like, you know what, man, Michael Jordan might be the best player of all time. That's when you know it's going to get real hot and heavy in here, Kyle. Let's get to the next game and get after it. 7 o'clock tonight, or 7:10 start, 9:67, 9:68. That's Boston and Tampa Bay. Yesterday, looking at the game, I thought we could get some runs, but actually Rich Hill was still pretty good. Garrett Richards was a flame, and it looked like this one was going to cover early in the game with the total. Took a couple innings off, and like they're really going to stone me in this one, but a late 3-run blast puts that one over the total, and Boston tacking on an extra run. Today we go back to the Trop. It's 9s across the board, Jason. Roughly a pick 'em between Wacha and Pivetta. Not the best pitchers on the mound, but the simple fact now, it's amazing that I'm now looking towards team total overs for Tampa and also games going over the total down in Tropicana Field. See what happens when they take cheating out of the game? It opens up so many new avenues. Jason, looking at this game tonight between Boston and Tampa, are we looking at more of the same? Not so much as the winner of the game, but do you expect some runs as well here?
Yeah, I think we'll get more runs in this game. On one hand, the Red Sox, they've killed righties as of late. Santana, Verdugo, Martinez, Bogarts, Devers. And you even mentioned Bogarts being in the MVP race now. So Devers, so the entire Red Sox lineup looks really good. Has some power and could definitely dominate Wacha early. Wacha looked terrible in his last start against the Mariners, and Kyle touched up on that one and hit that one on the head in his last start. So hopefully he agrees with this one. But I do think the Red Sox, if you go to like points bet, you can get Red Sox over 2 in the first 5 innings at minus 131. So they got to get 2 runs, and it's a push against Wacha. And then if they get 3, of course, they'll be able to cash that ticket. And again, you're going up against Wacha. He's got a low ground ball rate, giving up 45% hard contact, lots of high ISO to both sides, lefties and righties. He looked terrible against the Mariners in his last start. So I expect more of that in this one. In the Red Sox offense, they look really good there. But then again, Pivetta hasn't looked great either. And again, the Rays lineup, they'll have a bunch of lefties in the lineup. They could definitely do some damage as well. So I agree with the over. I do think the Red Sox have a little bit more going for them against Wacha. So if I were to give out a nice lean, it'd be the Red Sox over 2 in the first 5. And you can get that via points bet. And I think WinBet also has the 2 number in the first 5 innings.
All right, taking a look here at some updated numbers. The Yankees 4-1 over Kansas City, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out here in the 5th inning, and also looking at Texas, who is on the board 3-1 now in that game in the 3rd inning. Kyle, looking down at Tampa tonight between Pivetta and Wacha. Looking at these, again, the changing of the tides where, like I'm betting on now Detroit, and I'm waiting on the Pittsburgh Pirates to get me a pretty good advantage. But now one of the teams that I never really look at and almost wipe them off my board is Tampa Bay. Not so much anymore. Not to say it's a fantastic matchup for them tonight, but I like the versatility now that the lineup provides. Pivetta is a righty. He's a decent pitcher, but also you're not looking at a shutdown pitcher. 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs. That's about the normal of what you're going to get from Pivetta. But look at this lineup anticipated tonight. You have Lau, lefty, Choi, lefty, Wander Franco, lefty, Meadows, lefty, Wendell, lefty, Kiermaier, lefty. That's a lot of lefties in the lineup now that you can use against a right-handed bat. And also keep in mind, no doctor in the baseballs. Maybe you're going to be able to get some hits down in Tropicana Field. What is your angle on this game between Boston and Tampa, Kyle?
Well, honest to God, I thought the number was completely wrong. And when I woke up this morning and was looking it over, the Red Sox money line in the first 5 innings was plus 105. It's now shifted to minus 105. So we lost, about 10 cents or something, 20 cents, whatever the hell the math is there. Is Pivetta a world beater? No. But if you look at his weighted OPS to the last 3 years, it's 799 versus lefties, 777 versus righties. Both those numbers aren't great. Michael Wacha is an absolute can. I mean, I don't know. 953 versus lefties, 926 versus righties. Now, he has been okay in his last 2 starts against Boston, 30 and 21 fantasy points respectfully. But when you look at his last 5 starts overall this season, these are his fantasy point totals. keep in mind, we're looking for like a 35 or a 40, somewhere in this range, or above. 9, 2, 8, 3, and 2. Michael Wacha has been getting his ass handed to him by everybody. When you look at Pivetta, a 33 against Tampa Bay. Here's his fantasy points, his last 5 starts. 39, 43, 26, 15, 24. A weighted 3-year OPS of 873. When you look at Wacha, it's a 932. I think the Red Sox lineup is much, much better than Tampa Bay. I think the line is too short. It's on my value menu. I'm going to take that Red Sox money line in the first 5 innings at -105. I just think Michael Wacha is one of the 5 worst right-handed pitchers in the entire league. It's one of these rare times where you get to attack a pitcher from Tampa Bay where they're not doing this bullshit, where they're throwing in relievers who are throwing 105 for an inning, then they bring in the next guy, and they bring in the next guy, and they bring in the next guy. Michael Wacha is terrible. Now, keep in mind, I've done this a few times, right, where I bash a guy like I bashed Michael Wacha today, and they throw, no-hitters through 6 innings. I don't anticipate that today. I like the Red Sox. I think that number is wrong. I will take the Red Sox money line in the first 5 -105 all day long.
Yeah, here's the interesting part here, which is why I wasn't jumping on the Boston Red Sox, because Wacha gets a quick hook. He hasn't made it through the 3rd inning, into the 4th inning.
Correct.
For a few months now. So if he goes 2 innings here, then you're getting into that where I call it, you're not betting in a vacuum anymore. If I could say, hey, Wacha's a 5-inning pitcher like Pivetta is, you can pretty much schedule out what you anticipate you're going to get. But let's just say Michael Wacha goes 2 innings, gives up 1 earned run. Theoretically, that's a horrible start.
Well, I was going to ask you.
Yourself, yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to pick your brain on this, honestly, because I don't know. Do you think he has to do bad to get the hook, or do you think even if he pitches solid, he still gets the hook? That'd be the real question for me there.
Well, he always gives up runs. That's the interesting part. Like, let's just say we go back to last time he pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 earned run. Like, after that, it's 2 1/3 innings, 4 earned runs, which was terrible. But he had 2 innings, no earned runs, got the hook. 3 innings, 2 earned runs, got the hook. 1 2/3 got a hook. So it looks like the one thing is, he's going to give up runs. What you want to have happen is, Boston Red Sox load the bases in the first and drive 4 across. Then who cares if he's out of the game? Because, hey, they got 4 off Wacha. That's exactly what I wanted. The only thing that worries me just a little bit here is they should touch him up. After the end of 3, Kyle, it would be not a surprise that the Boston Red Sox have 2 on the board. But usually Major League pitchers are at 40 pitches at that time. They go another 3 innings like, oh, man, get this team total before he even leaves the game. That's the only thing that I worry just a little bit about. Yeah, but he's not going to go. I would be surprised, Kyle, if he goes 3 innings, shutout ball, they pull him. It's like, well, wait a second here. What's going on? That's it. That's it. Only the caveat on that. And I like it because we like to look at all sides in this game. That's the best part. Sometimes we don't agree on everything, and you pick apart and say, hey, here's what I don't think. You get the other guy to counter back, see what he thinks. But the one thing we know, he's not a shutdown pitcher. I just wish they said, let him go. Let him go 80 pitches, because then the Red Sox will probably touch him up for 4 runs over 5 innings. We'll see if that comes across. But an interesting game nonetheless. And you're talking about those average pitchers in Major League Baseball now that can't cheat. Let's see what Michael Wacha brings to the table when he was already a bad pitcher, Kyle. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out in this game tonight. Keep going forward here. Late night again. Now, this is one where if you're saying to yourself, the Dodgers should get right here. You had a huge series in San Diego with the Padres. You couldn't score like you usually score. Now you're coming back home to what we think is a low strikeout, or what we know is a low strikeout fly ball pitcher. Team launch angle should be back in play, but it's an 8.5 across the board that rose from a 7.5. So we take a look at the Cubs and the Dodgers here. Davies versus Buehler. Check out these prices. This is a sale price. -260 on the Dodgers. So if I look at this game once again and say, to me, the Dodgers have the better lineup. The Dodgers have the better starting pitcher. The Dodgers have a pretty good bullpen. I've been saying this 3 straight nights. If I'm a side bettor, I'm bankrupt at this point, backing the Dodgers. I don't know if I want to back them here, Jason, at -260. They should hit tonight, right?
Yeah, look, I guess it's really just the Padres have the Dodgers number. But now the Dodgers going against the Cubs, I think their offense will figure it out. They're getting healthy again. Guys are back in the lineup. Yeah, the price is really high. So I'd more recommend the Dodgers over 4.5 on the team total at -140. But again, Walker Buehler on the mound, he's been almost unhittable this season. He's been really good. He's allowed now 5 earned runs in his last 26.1 innings pitched, and beyond that, he allowed 7 earned runs in his last 7 starts. So he's looked really good. The Cubs, they do kind of profile well against him. They've had some guys that have performed against righties recently, but it's not enough for me to say, yeah, they're going to do some damage versus Walker Buehler. Davies, on the other hand, we thought he was getting back. We thought he was, he's getting back to his groove. He's finding a way, even with contact in play. And then then it all kind of went downhill from there. Allowed 8 earned runs to the Marlins in 6 innings pitched after allowing no runs in his last 2 starts. So he's more of a hit or miss pitcher, really hard to go against or for because you just don't know what you're going to get. But like Donnie said, we like to talk about team watch angle. We like to talk about balls in play. The Dodgers will do just that. So I do expect the Dodgers to score some runs. I think Buehler shuts down the Cubs, although the Cubs, they do kind of profile well. So that's why I would go more towards the over 4.5 for the Dodgers on the team total. So that would be the play.
I agree with that because when you look at it, sure, there's a pitcher in Walker Buehler that should be able to shut down a decent major league lineup. And then you look at Davies, should be able to get hit around because if you look at the eligible batters in this game, Kyle, even the Cubs look really good, but the Dodgers seem to have that same feeling to me as even if they're in ruts, things sort of balance out. Every night I look at the Atlanta Braves lineup, I'm like, damn it, where do I sign up? And every time I look at this Dodgers lineup, it does not matter who's in. Everybody looks like they're green lighted to have a monster game. How are you looking at this game between the Cubs and the Dodgers here, Kyle?
I mean, green light is exactly right because this Dodgers lineup profiles beautifully against Davies. I actually did a little sprinkle on the Bellinger home run prop, 6 of 16 lifetime, a couple of home runs off of Davies, and Buehler has just been lights out. Now, I will say this. In his last 4 starts against the Cubs, if you want the fantasy totals, and again, the mark we're looking for here is 35, especially a guy with Buehler and his price. You want 35 plus. You'd ideally get in the 50s. So 4 starts ago, negative 12 got lit up in the first inning, and 11. Then his last 2, he settled down a 43 and a 40. You obviously give the pitching advantage and the lineup advantage slightly to the Dodgers here. Davies, not a great pitcher. The problem is there's not a lot of value on the Dodgers. You mentioned the number is really, really high. The only way I can bet the Dodgers here, and I agree, I think the Dodgers should win tonight. I think they get off the schneid a little bit, is taking that team total, which is still juiced up, minus 140 over 4.5 is like, damn, that's a risky bet. And then you can get a minus 155, minus 0.5 in the first 5. It's just not a lot to love there. So for me, if I'm going to make this bet, I'm either going to take that team total or the first 5 innings. I do think there are better numbers on the board, so I'll probably stay away from this. I do think the Dodgers get it done. The Dodgers should win this game. Maybe you want to take them on the run line, minus 1.5. I'm not a big proponent of doing that. I don't do that very often. You got to get a little creative with this one. You're not getting a great number, but the Dodgers should be the one that win it. Probably for me, if I'm going to do one, I'm going to take the minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 155. You're eating a little bit of the sauce there when you do that, but I think that's the only way you can bet this. And the Bellinger home run prop as well. If you want to throw a little home run prop on Bellinger, I think you should be able to get one out tonight.
All right, so we'll see what happens late at night between the Cubs and the LA Dodgers. Let's get to the value menu wagers. Yesterday, I was able to pick on a game and pick up a little bit of money, and that was on the Boston Red Sox Tampa Bay Rays over. You know what tonight I'm going to go with? Another one of those high team totals that we already talked about. I cashed a 6.5 this year so far in a value menu wager. I'm going to take it one step lower, though. Toronto Blue Jays 5.5 minus 125. It just makes too much sense to me. I'm going to get a lineup with a lot of power in it. Are they all checking the boxes for what I love in Major League Baseball? No, not primarily. But if I'm going to get Kramer on the mound, or Kramer, however you want to pronounce it, it doesn't even matter. He'll be out of baseball soon anyway. We won't have to pronounce his name anymore probably over the next 14 days. But let's send him out in style in this tiny minor league ballpark here for Toronto tonight. Because the best part about Baltimore, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Let's just say Kramer goes through 5 innings, gives up 3 runs. You know who else is going to give up 3 runs? The bullpen for the Orioles. They don't get anybody out from starting pitching to middle relief to closers. The bank will be open all night. And talking about it earlier, you want to try to have a running mate. Not to say Baltimore's been sensational at the plate, but they do look decent tonight versus a left-handed pitcher. If I can get a couple runs out of the Orioles, that is going to be a boon. But in no way, no how, no shape do I think Kramer's going to go 6 innings, 1 earned run, and here comes that vaunted bullpen for the Orioles to shut it down in that tiny, tiny little ballpark. I'm going over 5.5 minus 125 at BetMGM as my value menu wager here on the Toronto Blue Jays team total over. Jason, where's some value on your card today?
Yeah, so the first one, we talked about that earlier. The Red Sox over 2 in the first 5 at minus 131. Not everyone get that one. So if you're in legal areas where you can get the first 5 over 2. For the Red Sox as a team total, you get a points bet or win bet. For those are the 2 that I know of. That's going to be one of the value wager plays. But then we'll go to the Nats and Marlins game. I like the Marlins over 3.5 on the team total. It's going to be Joe Ross taking the mound for the Nationals. And Ross, he's been up and down, but for the most part, he'll allow multiple runs per start this season. And he has not been very good. Had some really bad outings recently. So, yeah, look, you got the entire lineup for the Marlins: Chisholm, Marte, Aguilar, Duvall, Rojas, even now Sanchez in the lineup. They've all got some real good power that they can show off against Ross in this game. And, I do think that there's potential where the Nationals could be that running mate as well and could score some runs. But Poteet hasn't been that bad for the Marlins. He's 2-2 with a 3.90 ERA. So we might allow 1 or 2 runs. He's been bad against righties, not so much against lefties. So even guys like Schwarber and, Soto, they're lefties that might not profile nearly as well against Poteet, even though Schwarber's, destroyed the baseball as of late. So I'm going to go with the Marlins over 3.5 on the team total at -120. That's going to be a value play for me.
There you go, Kyle. What do you got? Value on that card tonight? Chipotle, Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's. It's all there for you. It's all
Let's go. I'm going to run with that Red Sox first 5 money line at -105. I know Pavetta's not great, but Waka is exponentially worse, and I just can't see a scenario. Now, again, I've bashed this guy, so it might be the best start of his life. No Nerfy in this one. Yeah, there's definitely, this is a Yerfie, right? What do you say, a Yerfie or something like that?
But it's a good one. There you go.
I'll take the Red Sox -105 on the money line in the first 5 innings. And I will also take the Astros. Now, the number has shifted. It was -145 this morning when I woke up. It's now -155, -0.5 in the first 5 innings. You've got Garcia, who's been outside of one start a couple starts ago, has been absolutely red hot. Fantasy point totals of 49, 46, 49, and 46 of 4 of his last 5 starts. It's the lowest weighted OPS for a lineup against a pitcher in a 3-year with a 3-year sample size for the Tigers tonight at .617. And you got the Astros going up against Urena. You say there's good and there's bad. There's nothing but bad with Urena. Jose Urena has just been god awful. I expect the Astros to keep the ball rolling here, so I'll take the -0.5 as well in the first 5. It's now moved to -155, but I think you could parlay that. I'm actually going to give that out as an official play. We'll do my official play today. 3 teams in the first 5 innings, and I'll get to my best play in a minute, but I like parlaying them as well. I gave that out today. Astros, Red Sox in the first 5 innings. Get it done, parlay them together, however you want to take it. They should get it done tonight. And I also include my NBA or my MLB prop, Max Kepler, at least 2 runs, hits, RBIs combined. And I do like Ivica Zubats, over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, he should be involved tonight, by the way. That's a pretty good low look by you there on as a value play in the NBA. But let's get to best bets on the Major League Baseball card. And yeah, I don't have one tonight, so I do hate to disappoint. We'll take that 25 and 10 and roll it over tomorrow because I got to say, sometimes when you don't have the right play in your pocket for today, you already start moving on to tomorrow. You see the Matt Harveys of the world pitching up in Buffalo. Canning is on the mound tomorrow. Will Crow, one of my favorites, is on the mound tomorrow. Late night at night, Team Launch Angle goes up against Jake Arrieta. I promise you, good people out in the chat box, Friday is always payday, and I will come up big for you tomorrow. I'm going to pass it down the list to Jason Radowitz. What do you got tonight? Best bets and bankers.
Yeah, I got one. I'm going to go with the over 4.5 in the first 5. So again, over 4.5 in the first 5 at -113 for the Cardinals and Pirates game. Chad Kuhl, Carlos Martinez, 2 guys that if you've watched the show for the entire year, we like to fade both these pitchers time and time again, and we'll do that here. The Pirates and Cardinals, both, their offenses have not been consistent. They haven't been great. But I think that changes today. First, we could talk about Kuhl. In the last 30 days, he's got a 5.81 xFIP, striking out just 14.3% of batters, also walking 8% of batters, allowing 41.3% hard contact, ground ball rate below 45%. He's struggling versus righties, 339 weighted OBA, 179 ISO. Obviously, the lineup for the Cardinals should have plenty of righties in the lineup, probably 6, maybe 5 with Edman, Carlson, and Carpenter is in there. But again, look, each guy in this lineup, they have their own thing with that they have strengths and they're really good at. So Edman, for example, doesn't strike out, so he'll get on base. And you have Carlson, a guy that can walk and has a little bit of power. Goldschmidt, he can walk a little bit, doesn't strike out much. Arenado doesn't strike out much, has some power. O'Neill, I mean, you go down the list, he's got so much power against righties. Even guys like Molina, Carpenter, DeJong, they could all walk and limit the strikeouts. So DeJong can, but the other guys can. So if they all do kind of what they're supposed to do, they can get on base, score some runs. Now, Chad Kuhl, he's leaving 60.8% of runners on base. That means 40% of runners on base are scoring throughout the entire season. Now you go to Martinez going up against Pittsburgh. Well, the LOB percentage for him is 55%. That means 45% of runners on base against Martinez, they are scoring as well. He's also walking 8.5% of batters in the last 30 days. So he's also putting guys on base without allowing a hit, just walking guys. And when he does that, both of these guys, Kuhl and Martinez, are struggling with guys on base. Then you go look at Reynolds, look at Gamble, Frazier. They're all getting on base at a solid rate against righties. Martinez, a weighted OBA of 400 against righties. And he's also walking 10.3% of righties in the last 30 days as well. I think both these lineups should be able to get 3 runs. We've also seen both these pitchers, they've allowed 5 runs a start by themselves. Now all we need is 5 runs between both of them in 5 innings. I think both these offenses get the job done, and we can get that over 4.5 in the first 5 as the official play.
There you go. We'll keep it moving on. And by the way, somebody in the chat box, Jay Peach, says, I keep seeing people screaming, take Baltimore over the Astros. I don't see it happen. I don't know. They must be screaming after, hallucinogens because those teams aren't playing today. But anyway, Kyle, what's your best bet and your banker today?
It's the Minnesota Twins minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 140. Look it. We've got Juan Carlos Mejia, right? And what do we know about Juan Carlos Mejia? It's that he stinks against lefties. He stinks against righties. We've got enough lefties in that Twins lineup today. We've got Berrios going up against that lineup, and Berrios has actually been pretty good over his last 5 starts overall, outside of 1 start, and he's been good in his last 5, nothing less than 25 fantasy points in his last 5 starts against Cleveland. I like those Minnesota Twins. I think they get it done early today. It's my play of the day. If you want to parlay that with the Astros first 5 and the Red Sox first 5, I love that little trifecta today. I put a unit on it. It turned out to be at plus 325 when I took the first 5 innings. So I love that little parlay. Give me the Twins minus 0.5 first 5 innings at minus 140. I think they absolutely stomp on Cleveland in the first 5 innings. Juan Carlos Mejia is garbage. Berrios, very, very solid. They got the lineup advantage. They got the pitching advantage. The numbers dictate. Twins get it done today.
All right. I mean, could tomorrow be a Pittsburgh Pirates type of Friday with Kim on the mound, 11 miles an hour blowing out, 90 degrees at first pitch at Busch Stadium? I don't know if it's going to make the card, but boy, oh boy, we might be digging in on some of these fleas tomorrow and see if we can have some fun with those. Let's get to the odds lightning round and pick on some of these games on the rest of the card to see if there's any value here. 9:51, 9:52, 7:10 start tonight, Washington and Miami. Quickly, Jason, I know we already talked about this one. Minus 100, minus 112, depending on wherever you shop. 8.5s across the board. Miami, roof usually always closed down there. Ross can be hit, but what are we looking at in this game quickly again for a recap?
Yeah, I think the Marlins, they have some power. Ross allows plenty of power. And, Petit obviously could allow a couple runs early in the game, but I don't expect that much. I don't think the Nationals really profile too well against him there. So I'm going to go with the Marlins over 3.5 on the team total there. And the Nationals, they can stick around as well. So that wouldn't be bad. But I still like the Marlins here over 3.5 on the team total.
Yep, we'll see what happens in this one. 9:53, 9:54, Atlanta and Cincinnati. Kyle, Chavez going to get the start in this game for Atlanta, but it is a full bullpen game. Santillan on the mound for the Reds. Not a lot of starts behind. I got to tell you, I tried to find my best to find an angle on either the Braves or the Reds because both of these offenses in that ballpark should be able to hit. But I don't know who officially is going to be in for Atlanta for more than 1 inning. And Santillan, okay, but also sometimes you have to ride the hot bats. And to say Atlanta is hot at the plate would be an a way overstatement at this point here.
Yeah.
They should both hit, but it wasn't enough to make my card. Any thoughts on this game from you?
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time finding a number too because they announced it late and they're trying to figure out, is it going to be what's the damn guy's name? Sean something or other should be the long reliever after the Chavez kid.
Newcomb. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
Sean Newcomb should be.
He's a Hartford guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, a Hartford guy. So he's probably,
absolutely should get hit then.
Find him there. They're pissed at the president. They want to be in the they want to join the NFL or something like that in Hartford, right? They're tired of being disrespected in Hartford athletics. First of all, I mean, Acuna was a late scratch. I got some heat like, oh, you're wrong about the Braves. Well, yeah, when we did the show, their best hitter, their best player wasn't a late scratch because of a back issue. I'd expect he'd be back today. I don't see a ton of lines for this. This game just screams over to me. I don't know what the total on the game is, but it screams an over. Both these teams should be able to hit. You got two teams here. You got a bad starter in Cincinnati, and then you got an opener, and you're going to the bullpen. Well, the Braves bullpen is absolute garbage up and down. So both these team totals should be live. I don't have a great number on that yet. I stayed away. I haven't jumped in on it, but if I'm going to bet it, count on runs because both these teams should hit these trash can bullpens today.
Yeah, big home run here, but the Yankees extend their lead to 7-1 over the Kansas City Royals. We'll see how that plays out here. Next game we're going to go over quickly here would be Houston and Detroit, 965, 966, Urania versus Garcia. And it's one of those teams with the interchangeable parts at the plate. I talked about how now you look at the Rays where they can stack 6 lefties. We always know that Cleveland, with all their switch hitters, can load up a lot of lefties. But take a look. The reason why I played the team total over for Detroit a few days ago, because they can stack lefties. Garcia, 331, weighted on base average of lefties, ISO power number of 218. Tonight's lineup looks like Grossman, lefty, Candelario, lefty, Badu, lefty, Mazzara, lefty, Castro, both lefties. You got a lot of lefties in this lineup here tonight when we look at this game. Any thoughts here, Jason, quickly on this one between Houston and Detroit?
Yeah, and maybe the Tigers can score some runs, but we know the Astros can absolutely score some runs, and Urena really hasn't been great. Faded him in his last couple of starts and got winners in both of them. 7.83 xFIP, striking out just 6.7% and walking 13.3%. It's a joke for Urena. The Astros should be able to score plenty of runs, and the Tigers can too. So they can also stick around. I don't mind the over in the full game. The Astros over 5.5. That's a lot of runs that are needed to be scored in this game, but obviously, like we've seen within the last week or so, they can do it. So I think the Astros are the play here. Anyway, you look at it, but again, the Tigers, they can definitely stick around for a little bit, for a little while.
Already talked about the Cleveland-Minnesota game with Mejia and Barrios on the mound, so we're going to skip right over, go to Cool versus Martinez for your take on this one here, Kyle. Minus 152, minus 162, depending on where you're shopping. 9s across the board here. That sneaky little Pittsburgh lineup today going against an xFIP monster in Carlos Martinez. Any thoughts here quickly on this one again?
Real quickly, I'll just say I'm not confident in either pitcher to pick a side, but I will say Pittsburgh, live dogs, and I like the over in this game. We got 2 bad bullpens, 2 bad starting pitchers. With the fighting Morans, getting Colin Moran back, that lineup actually profiles really nicely against Martinez. So I think the over in this game makes a ton of sense. I have it at 9.5 right now. And Pittsburgh, I do think at plus 140 offshore, plus 135 here, are live dogs. So it would be a dog or pass for me if I'm picking a side, but I do like the over in the game.
All right, there you go. Let's clear the bases. Get out of here on a Thursday for the Major League Baseball show. But as always, we like to recap and go over exactly what we have on the card tonight. I don't have a banker today, but trust me, tomorrow we will be in action for that. I do have a little bit of money. One picked up a little bit yesterday. Let's do it again tonight. Toronto's team total 5.5, minus 125 at MGM. I think they get 6 runs tonight against a bad starting pitcher and a bad bullpen in a small ballpark. Jason, go ahead. Best bet bankers and also your value on the card tonight.
Yeah, so the value will be on the Red Sox over 2 in the first 5 innings at minus 131. Also, the Marlins over 3.5 on the team total at minus 120. But the official play, the banker of the day, over 4.5 in the first 5 at minus 113. I think it would now move to around minus 120, but it still is at over 4.5 in the first 5. I'm seeing on all these legal books. So it's still there for you guys to grab between the Pirates and the Cardinals. That's the official play.
All right, Kyle, go ahead, value, and also wrap up your best bet and bankers today.
Well, I was going to ask Donnie, our Spanish translator, to tell me what Kyle es el caballo means. I actually know what it means. I believe it means I'm a strong horse or the horse.
Yeah, El Caballo. Sure. That used to be,
El
who was that,
Caballo.
Carlos Lee? Yeah, Carlos Lee, I believe, for Houston was El Caballo. It's the only reason why I know.
El Caballo. Yeah, thank you very much. He's our official Spanish translator on the show. So my official best bet and banker today is the Twins minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 140. I think they smashed Mejia today. On the value menu, I've got the Astros minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 140. Red Sox money line in the first 5 at minus 105. For you NBA guys, Zubats replaced Batum in the starting lineup. Should play 30-plus minutes tonight. Got him over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And I think that's it. Oh, yeah, home run props. Cody Bellinger, Joey Gallo looks really, really great tonight as well in that lineup. And I have one more home run prop just for you all if you want to put 3. I think Giancarlo.
Gallo's up right now, by the way.
Is he? Giancarlo
right
now.
now.
I'm saying home run right now for
Man.
Giancarlo Stanton. Those are my picks for the day.
All right, there you go. So we'll wrap up the show. 2 things I know tonight. I'm going to win money in Major League Baseball and then give it back betting 3-point parlay props in the NBA. But that's what we do. That's what we do as gamblers here. So certainly a lot of fun on deck. Thank you guys for joining us once again on Thursday for the Major League Baseball show right here on sportsbookreview.com. Back for a Friday that as we call, is payday around these parts on sportsbookreview.com. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. This was the Major League Baseball show. Good luck on those wagers tonight.